Hey, hey. Hey, hey. I'm back. I am back. I promised. I'm double checking, actually. Double checking the day and the time. It is Tuesday, June 17th. Christine. Okay, I'm in the right place because I see a familiar name. Thank you. Yes. 7 p.m. Eastern TikTok Live. 8 p.m. Eastern YouTube Live tonight. So, hey, nice to see you. I rarely, if ever, do an evening TikTok Live. But I knew that today, I was just trying to ease my way back into things. So, I love it. I love it. Christine says, planned my day around this and then the next one. Gonna get some poop. Gonna get some shit done. Yes, my friend. Here, let me help you. This is a small group of us here right now. What are you wanting to get done? You don't have to share it, but sometimes that external accountability can help. Nice to see you, Blonde Cheryl and Shannon Retrograde. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be back. Glad to be back. I had a lovely few days off. I had a lovely, frankly, morning and afternoon as I do, what did I call it? A recovery day today after traveling. Oh, there we go. I love it. Christine says, thanks to the Secret Club page, because, that was so, 6 months ago in the club, we all fam, but in this club, we are all fam. I'm going to look at it myself. Alrighty. Yes, there we go. I'm off the digital grid, but not no more. There we go. Yes, here I am. Yes, this was scheduled. This was scheduled because I knew I wanted to get back in the swing of things. And I also know that while I tend to be an early bird, there are some people who maybe know me on TikTok or don't know me on TikTok, who may be just scrolling like I was at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, here I am. Yep, Tuesday, June 17th. That's today, 7 p.m. Eastern, 7:02. You know what I realized too? This is really funny. I love it. So Cheryl is saying chilling tonight. And tomorrow's the day off, deep cleaning and straightening the kitchen. I love it. Speaking of the kitchen, you know what I forgot? This is so funny. I kind of forget sometimes that I have the phone that can move with me. Now, I'm going to be on the socials for 2 solid hours. And I realized, you kind of saw me go like, wah, wah. So I'm going to walk you out to the kitchen and get myself some water. And then we'll come back in here, okay? So it will be, for those of you who get motion sickness, do not just glance aside, okay? Glance to the side. But I just wanted to get myself some water. Christine's got her water ready. Awesome. Anybody else want to go get a water? Go for it. Go for it. I also just realized the back door is open. So I'm just going to shut the back door. Turn on the light. Though it probably won't be dark by the time I'm done at 9 o'clock. So Sue, thank you. Welcome back. Water is ready. Water is ready here too. Isn't that silly of me? I totally forgot that I can be mobile. Now, this is the Hall of Darkness because we still have the stuff from the basement there. But now I'm feeling so much better knowing that I can hydrate. Now, let's just get settled again. Be nice and not moving around in this crazy roller coaster ride. There we go. So yay. Okay. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you're getting some stuff done. And if you haven't met me before, my name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Good evening, Radical Gal 68. And everybody else. Who else do we have here? We got Compadre and Bon Cheryl. We got a nice little crew here. I was off of the socials in the coaching for a number of days because I went up to New England and saw some family and some friends, and a niece of mine graduated college. I will cry with the proud tears of an auntie if I start talking about it. But anyhow, enough about me. As I said, yeah, okay, Radical Gal, if you like the evening lives, cool, because I'm going to be here on TikTok until 8 p.m. Eastern, which is in about 50 some odd minutes. And then I'm going to hop over to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel and do an evening YouTube there, So There we go. I love it. So Leaping Lulu says, how fun, me too. Excellent. Yay, good stuff. So what do I do here? This is the thing that I think is so important. Okay, Radical Gal says, I'll be there. Awesome. So this is the thing that I think is so important for us to do, is to embrace the power of the technology we have. Now, here's a crazy thing, and I'm actually going to look at it. I'm just kind of getting back in the swing of things here. So if you ever wanted to watch just a regular, like an hour long, just non-participatory, you just wanted to listen to something like a podcast, totally said that weird. You could go to my YouTube channel. Right now, 741 videos on the YouTube channel, but today is live. Today, live. It's not Memorex, it is live. Okay? And so I say to you, I am here not just to let me entertain you. I hope to do that, but I'm here to help you with whatever you are struggling with clutter-wise or declutter-wise, okay? Because I have learned through my own personal experience and the experience of my families and my friends and coworkers and neighbors and people on the internet that clutter is something that people struggle with. Now, I used to struggle with clutter. Now, currently, I'm a little bit cluttered only because of travel and house repairs. But in general, I am so much more decluttered than I used to be. Oh, hey, Christina Glendale. Nice to see you. Very cool. And Grandma Bird 5. Nice to see you as well. And everybody else, too. I'm just saying hi to recognize. But everybody's welcome here unless you're a jerk or a hater, and then I'll block you like nobody's business. But anyway, I'm here to help you with your clutter. But I can only help you with what you, if you tell me what you're struggling with. So if you struggle with clutter, where are you stuck? Yeah, burst water heater will create a whole lot of clutter real fast. Yes, completely. So yes, what are you struggling with decluttering wise? Are you overwhelmed with the amount you have? Overwhelm's a big thing. Is your nervous system all out of whack and you feel like you're just kind of bopping around and doing things? Or do you spend some time to get things decluttered and then suddenly they're just back to regular? Or what is it? Because I can riff on a lot of this stuff, because the thing I want to share with you too is if you are struggling with kind of too much stuff in your house, the quantity is wrong and the quality is off, that you're not the only person. You are not the only person. Now, I could pretty much do some sort of very fancy, if I wanted to write like a thesis on this about the age many of us are. I'm a Gen Xer. We maybe got some boomers in the house or some other generations. The time in which we live with the ability to get things very easily. The way we grew up where we maybe were raised with people who didn't have a lot. There's so many societal things that play into you and me having more stuff than we need, but feeling a struggle and letting it go. So I just want to offer you, you're not alone in this, and it's not your fault. Okay? Don't get all shamey, blamey. We don't do that here. Okay? Jackie says, my internet being down is helping me deal with my house. Yeah. When we can be distracted from some things, we sometimes can easily find something to distract us from something that we might struggle with. So I'm glad that you're using the internet being down as a good thing. Kara's Garden, nice to see you. Hey, sold more stuff and took boxes and boxes of stuff that wasn't selling to savers, and this is big. There we go. I love that, my dear. Comadre de Madre, 41 generation, I don't know. Generation after Gen X, because that's the only one I really care about. Okay, so Whitney says, I feel overwhelmed, and then I get tired, and I don't have the energy to finish what I started. Okay. So let me help you with this. And Brock on Blonde Cheryl, 8 boxes donated this weekend out of the garage. I love it. So Whitney, what I want to help you with, and this is why I am a decluttering life coach, is I noticed that it's not just about the stuff, but it's about how you feel about the stuff. Notice you even started, I feel overwhelmed. Okay? Overwhelmed. Now, I will say to you, the feeling of overwhelm feels different to everybody. you feel it. And so when you feel overwhelmed, sometimes I usually think of everything, I'm looking at it too big. I'm looking at the big picture when and that's not helpful. Like if you could see my hands, they're like out like this. I'm looking at the really big picture. What I want to give you is a word that I use, and those of you who want to hydrate before bed, every time I see it, we can do shots of water. And Whitney, I want you to think of the word down, okay? Because think of overwhelm is over, and then down is the opposite. So if you think of, if I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm looking at things, everything's piled up above my head, that's overwhelming me, it's not good. Oh man, I see dead bugs in my cool lamp. That's what I get for looking up. What I say is calm down your nervous system. How do you do that? Quiet down your environment. Slow down. Breathe down, shoulders down. God, I really need to do that. Drink down some water. Turn down the volume on whatever's noisy. Maybe shut off some lights. When you calm down your nervous system, you'll feel a little bit better. And then you can focus down on a certain area. You can chunk it down, and then you can write all this down, okay? So I just offer to you, if you are feeling overwhelmed, and I don't, and then get tired, yeah, because it may seem exhausting to be overwhelmed. But I also say too, so calming down your nervous system is an important thing, but also checking on how your physical body feels. If you are tired, it's going to be harder for you to do a lot of things. So I am team take a nap. So I say, if you are tired, maybe you go to bed early tonight. Maybe you calm down your nervous system, you quiet down, you write down just a couple of things you want to do tomorrow, you get some sleep so you feel better in the morning, okay? Also, if you don't have the energy to finish what I started, Rome was not built in a day. Nobody says you have to do it all in one fell swoop, okay? The other thing is chunking it down is a big thing. You've done a chunk, you can leave the other things when you have more energy, okay? But really noticing how you are feeling both physically and also kind of energetically. Like, for example, Jennifer says, I lost my mom to cancer 4 years ago, and I've not been able to throw away anything in my house because of grief. Yeah. And notice the feeling of grief will stop you from doing anything, especially if the fear of losing something creates a nervous system situation where you're not feeling good. So I'm so sorry to hear about your mom. Move through the grief at a pace that feels good to you, okay? Move through the grief in a pace that feels good to you. But if you're feeling like you're grieving for too long and not kind of processing it, or if it's not feeling right to you, still feel grieving, I highly recommend it. I would say this to every single one of you here, including myself. If you're doing all the things that you know how to do, if what I offer you isn't working, there is no shame, and there's a lot of good stuff about getting the mental health, professional mental health support that you need, okay? There's grief counseling that you can go to, okay? And so I just offer to you, you have to, if it feels okay to you being in the stage you're in, own it. But if you wish you weren't, but you're struggling, that's a different thing, okay? But my heart goes out to you. It can be tough, and especially if you have items that are used to be owned by somebody who you care about. So what I just offer to everybody is just notice your nervous system and your body first. One of the reasons, frankly, why you're seeing me tonight here is because I typically on a regular Tuesday would do a TikTok live and a YouTube live in the morning, or maybe even just early afternoon. But I knew I was going to be tired today because I was gone all weekend and we were in the car for a long time yesterday. So I scheduled some time. I had the luxury of scheduling some time for myself to just recover, because when you feel better, you do better. Okay? So I send you good stuff. Okay? Yeah. And Becky is also sharing, so sorry for your loss. And it's okay. My parents passed 3 years ago, and it's a very slow process. Yeah. There is no timeline you need to adhere to except for the timeline that feels right to you. Okay? Yeah. Now, Jennifer is saying, yes, I've learned that I hold on to things for fear of letting go. I might hire a professional organizer. Yeah. If you feel like it would help you to have somebody there with you, kind of metaphorically holding your hand while you make these decisions, please do. There are plenty of them. NAPO, NAPO, better get NAPO. NAPO is the National Association of Professional Organizers, and they changed their acronym, or one of them. But there are people that will come to your house and do that. Now, I don't do that. I don't do that because I found out very quickly that I don't need to be in the same physical room as somebody to help them. Okay, yes, and Kara says everyone can benefit from therapy. It's been a great experience. Yeah, so getting the right kind of help for what you're ailing, what's ailing you is going to be great. Now, but notice the fear. Jennifer, I love that you brought up fear, because the way I like to help people, and because this is how it helped myself, is to get curious about kind of, I was going to say what my motivation is, but then I start thinking of that Myrna, the aunt, I think she was a cousin or somebody who was on the Brady Bunch. Remember when they got the soap endorsement thing and they were making a commercial? But I digress. What I want to offer to you is thinking of kind of two camps. You know, you've got the camp of fear. You've got on the one hand, you have fear that tells you stories that make you feel afraid, and then you may hold on to stuff. But then on the other hand, and I love that when I'm doing this on my other hand, even though I don't have my wedding rings on, that it's my left hand because I'm left-handed. So I say, on the other hand, on the opposite side of fear is love. Okay? Is love. And think to yourself, when you tell yourself a story that kind of gets your heart opening and blooming into love and compassion and gratitude, when you start to feel different because you've told yourself a different story that has some good stuff in it, you may be finding it easier to release things, easier to feel good about keeping things. Now, I'm not team get rid of everything. I mean, look behind me. I just realized I'm a little off center there. But I collect stuff. I have things. But I also have given away tons of stuff. I also don't buy things with the frequency with which I used to. But it feels good. Feels good. I was at the Vermont Country Store yesterday, and that place is a massive. It's like I guess what used to be the Christmas tree shop, but it's like, buildings upon buildings of all sorts of stuff. And I came out with like 2.5 things, but I felt fine. It was fun to walk around and look at the stuff, but it doesn't mean I have to buy it. And I felt okay with that. I didn't feel like I was coming from lack and, I can't buy this. I said to myself, if I want something, I can buy it. But it kind of felt nice to browse and enjoy, but then not come home and add to my clutter. Yeah, so much retro stuff there, Kara's Garden. So this was wicked funny. This is going to be a bit of where's my, oh crap, here we go. My Mr. Microphone. This is going to be a Gen X corner, stepping into the Gen X corner. So this was wicked funny. So we were up in Vermont for my niece's graduation. She graduated from a school in New Hampshire, but the closest house my sister could rent that fit all of her family was in Vermont. So on the way home, we were driving and we stopped at the Vermont Country Store. I am not kidding you. When I walk in there, and who do I see shortly after I get out of the ladies' room, the restroom there, but my sister-in-law, who was also at the house moments ago. She and her partner and their son were in there buying stuff. And you know what she picked up? This was wicked funny. She bought, I just saw your thing, Christine, 2.5 things. Yeah, kind of. I don't know what made me say that. But anyhow, so she was like, oh my God, check out what I just found. And she had a thing of Love's Baby Soft. Oh my God, talk about core memory unlocked. I went over, they have a tester. You smell it. It smelled like 7th grade. I also saw they had Lemon Up shampoo. Smelled like a lemon. They did have, I'll share this with you. They did have, gee, your hair smells terrific. But the smell did not do it. Yeah. So it just cracks me up. So that was your Gen X moment. Expect to get one later. Interesting. AC Wild says the Zen of love is the continuity of good living. No opposite of love. I think fear. Fear tends to make you do things that are the opposite of love. Fear makes you lash out at people. Fear makes you blame other people for your problems. Sunny, nice to see you. Butterfly, nice to see you. Yeah, Love's Baby Soft. Can you smell it right now in your nose? But what has helped me is to realize that I have words in my head, sentences in my head that I tell myself, and then depending upon what those words are, it can make me feel a certain way. So I say when I'm in fear mode, when I'm afraid of something, that gets me kind of tightened up, makes me hang on to stuff. What if I need that? What if I need it and I've given it away and then I need it and I don't have it? That sounds like I'm in lack, you know? There we go. Ginate, Ginate. I love it. Yes, I wonder, oh my God, did they have Ginate? They should have, I bet, you know? Okay, so Kara is asking, what did I get? What did I get? Okay, so this is what I got. My husband we got some little maple candies for our neighbors who took in our mail. I got for my sister, this is so funny, total like of an era. She's like, I used to laugh at these and now I realized I need them. And when I saw them, I totally took a picture and bought them for her. Oh, they're in the other room. They're like a pair of like reading glasses, okay? But one of the lenses folds down so you can see what you're doing when you're putting on your eye makeup. And then I guess you put that one up and you take it down. Now it's so funny because I've been wearing distance, like I've had eye issues all my life, so I've worn glasses for forever. My sister was trying to read something at the house and she was like this, you know, obviously without glasses on. And so I got those for her. Right there, though, I will tell you, I got something that I used to get when I worked at Pier 1, which were these little sheets of paper that have powder embossed in them, and they soak up the oil on your face. So I got those. Becky, I highly recommend. Vermont Country Store had them. I think they were a name brand, but I can't remember what it is. So we got that. And then I honestly did walk around and say, is there anything else that I want? I made fun of some of the grandma nightgowns and said to my husband, hubba, hubba, you know, and you look like somebody who's 90 years old. Yeah. So those are the blotters. Yeah, I got the blotters. That was my half because it's only small. Yes, and those oil blotting sheets, as soon as I saw them, I said, oh, hell yeah. Now, there were a lot of things that I was like, ooh, could I use this? Could I use this? I don't know. Maybe it didn't feel right, so I felt okay letting it go, you know? So that's what I bought. And then we did buy, I will share this, we bought some popcorn. It was supposed to be like maple flavored popcorn. It didn't really taste like a lot, and a bunch of it spilled in the back of the car. So I said to my husband, you know you've been on a road trip when you pull up into the driveway and you've got popcorn all over the back of the car. So that's what I bought. But I had fun looking, you know, dreaming is free and so is window shopping. So that's what I got. But again, enough about me. We could talk about me, but I don't like to make myself the center of attention. I am going to lovingly hand the microphone over to you. If we were in like a, you know, thing and I was like on the Oprah show or whatever, I'd be like, here, what? Or Phil Donahue or something, you know? And I'd be like, okay, so hand the microphone to somebody who's struggling with something clutter, who wants some help, who wants a question answered. Here's the microphone. Mr. Microphone, I'll be back to pick you up later. So to me, I like to help with being silly and fun, but serious. Because again, serious and silly balance each other out. There's place for both of them. I like to recognize when I am in fear mode. Am I going to get in trouble? Is somebody going to be mad at me? Did I do the wrong thing? I notice when I'm in that fear mode and I try to do things to reassure myself that everything is okay. So Gigi, yes, love hearing about my travel adventures. Do we have any other travel adventures? Oh, I will say this. I went to a No Kings March in Burlington, Vermont, and it was wonderful. It was great. We were so glad to be able to participate in such an important thing, even though we were not in our home state of Pennsylvania. So that was good. What else did we do? We had some maple creamies. Have you had a maple creamy? It's like soft serve, but maple flavored. And, oh my God, it had these little crunchy bits of maple on them. So good. So good. So I did the things that were important to me. As we were walking around, were we a bit afraid of things? You know, like, are we going down the right street? Is there anything going to be here? Whatever. Yeah, but then we calmed down and we followed the crowd and it ended up being a good time. Yeah. So, again, enough about me, you guys. Come on, what about you? What about you? I'm just regular. I'm just a regular person living their somewhat decluttered life. But I want to help you with stuff. Christine said she was going to get some shit done for during this YouTube live or TikTok live, and when I do a YouTube live at 8 o'clock. Now, sometimes we make promises to ourselves that we keep hidden. We have some words in our head saying, I'm going to fold the laundry. But you keep it up in your head because then if you don't do it, you don't have a paper trail. You can't feel bad about it because you just, didn't tell anybody you were going to do it. Okay? So think about what you want to do and what are some steps you can take to make it more real to you. Now, one of the things you can do is you can write things down. Now, you can write it down to yourself on a piece of paper. I'm a big fan of that. Or even right now, writing it down and sharing it with somebody else is a double whammy. Is the articulating it into words that are written so you can see them, and sharing that with somebody, aka putting it in the comments, that are written so you can see them, and sharing that with somebody, aka putting it in the comments. Okay? So Kara says she's got a challenge. Husband's last day of school is tomorrow. I want to keep on doing my stuff, but inertia. Interesting. What I would say is if it's his last day of school, there's going to be a shifting of gears, right? I know my gears totally shift when my husband's out, doing gigs or on tour versus when he's home. We do different things. So you may say to yourself, asking yourself, hey, self, how can I continue doing my stuff while my husband is no longer at school? What are some ways I can continue doing what I want to do? And then let that kind of stir around for a while and then write down some stuff. Right? Whatever, as I like to say, whatever comes up, write down. Yeah. And meaning, and Kara says meaning, she's getting more specific. When he's off for summer, he's hanging on the patio, but I want to keep doing stuff. How about this? This is where I would umbrella this under chunking it down. Okay? So Kara, try this because this is what I'm going to be doing too, because you better believe we just got our patio set. I am so excited about it. Literally later this week, it's going to be set up. I'd say come hell or high water, but if it doesn't rain anyway. You can hang on the patio with him or without him and also keep doing your stuff. Okay? So, yes, and pretend you're one of those comedians who does like the improv. Improv, you can riff with it. So I can do my stuff. I can work on my decluttering. I'm going to do that, let's say, from X time to X time in the morning. And then I'm going to clock out and I'm going to spend time on the patio. All or nothing is exhausting. Telling yourself no to fun, you will never hear me be the person who immediately says, say no to the fun and you just got to stick to it. I'm going to say, how can you have fun and get it done? Right? Let's have some fun and get it done. So right now, for example, you may be having a wee bit of fun with me entertaining you in the, as you chatter in the background. You may be looking over and maybe putting some comments on it, but is there some surface level clutter? Surface level, not stored or sentimental, because stored and sentimental takes brain power, and you can't use your thinking brain and your hearing brain and do a good job at either. So how about some surface area decluttering? Could you do some surface area decluttering that'll make you feel better when you get to bed? Now, what I say, that surface area declutter is literally like the no-brainer stuff. Folding laundry, washing dishes, puttering and decluttering, putting things away. You could do that while we're here. I'm here on TikTok for the next half hour. Okay? And Becky says, my hubby is a teacher also definitely changes when he's home for the summer. But I also want to hang out with him. Yeah. So maybe you both schedule. And I know it can sound very, very boring, but you can schedule some time. Maybe you say, would you like to meet me for brunch on the patio? How about we meet at 11? How about we have our morning coffee on the patio and hang out for a little while, and then you do your patio stuff, but then I'm going to do something I want to do. That can be done. I love it. Sue says, I'm decluttering my dinner plate. There you go. However, may I please, from a person who is doing the weight loss thing, you do not have to be part of the clean plate club. I'm not saying I'm just saying, all or nothing. You are allowed to leave food on your plate if you feel like it. You're also allowed to lick the plate, anywhere in between, okay? So, yes, okay. Grandma Bird says, I get less done when my husband is home beyond everyday things. Interesting. Now, to me, that would be interesting if it's just that if he is participating or getting nosy, or just his existence in the home changes the energy. Because I know I do different things when my husband's around too. But we are also in the habit of spending some time together, but then I go to my room and I do my thing, and he goes to his room and does his thing. So I get curious about that. And Mish, thank you. Mish says, tuning into Destination Decluttered has been so helpful. I have gotten rid of so much and I continue. Yay. Yes, Grandma Bird, you got new patio furniture? Just have to put it together. See, this is what you do then. You assign him a task. Hun, can you put together the patio furniture? In the meantime, he's going to be occupied with that, and you can go do some of the decluttering you want to do that's just not the surface stuff. Okay, and the good news is, Grandma Bird, I will share this with you, is when you are decluttering, and especially when you are learning to declutter, you should only be decluttering your own stuff. If your husband comes poking his nose in and he's like, what are you doing poking his nose in? So funny, like, what are you doing poking your nose in here? You can say, if I'm going through my sock drawer and trying to figure out what socks, it's going to be one thing. If you say, I'm going through your sock drawer, that's another thing. So when you are learning to declutter, please learn by staying in your own lane. Okay? And Mish says, I hear Beth saying, chunk it down. And it helps the overwhelm. It really does. And you know what's great? Is somebody up thread was saying how they felt overwhelmed. Overwhelm, chunk it down. Small in that stuff up. Patio furniture, you unbox one box and you assemble it. You unbox the other one. So good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, it's definitely the distraction for me. Okay, here's something I want to share with you, because many people, including myself, have, as I like to say, a touch of the ADHD. ADHD people, can be hyper-focused, but we can also be hyper-distracted. Practicing focusing on a level that serves you, but doesn't get you always into hyper-focus. So notice how you get distracted when your husband is around. Is it a noise he makes? Is it him just moving around the house? Is it him kind of opening the door and being like the guy in Office Space who's hanging on to the cubby there? Get curious about what distracts you. It could just also be, frankly, the energy of another human being in the house, knowing there's somebody else there. So what I offer to you is you can practice focusing. That's a great thing about the 20-minute timer type thing, both for you and for other people. And I will say this, I love it. Terry says, I put my husband's things in his room. Rock on, lady. That's great. I do the same thing. Yes. Oh, thank you. The declutter parties are great too. I'm glad you think they are. Speaking of which, thank you, Mish. And for those of you who don't know me, it's about 7:33 Eastern time. My name is on Tuesday, June 17th. 7:33 Eastern time. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. That's here on TikTok, that's on YouTube, and that's the best place of all, on the internet, destinationdecluttered.com, because that's where you can sign up for my mailing list and be invited to all sorts of fun things. Yeah, and for me, I want to hang out with him and flop on the patio furniture, and summer is fun here. Please, I am so all about having summer fun. I am. So if you choose to do that, feel good about it. Don't give yourself a guilt trip. Oh, I should really be decluttering something else. No, own your decision. Decluttering, I've said this before and it bears repeating. Decluttering is decision making. And decision making really at the core of what do I want to happen, and then feeling good about whatever you have decided. I decided I'm going to declutter while my husband's on the patio, but I'm going to feel good about what I'm doing. Or I've decided that I'm not going to do a damn thing today except for hang out on the patio with my husband or by myself. And I'm going to feel good about it. So don't get into that either or thing. Feel good about whatever decision you make. Own it. Feel good about it. And release the guilt. Release the shame. Release any of that. There was another thing too. And again, I go back to the and or, because I love hanging around on the patio until I don't. Until the sun changes and it's in my face. Until I have to go up and I have to get to the bathroom. And then it's like, do I want to go outside? But other times, yeah. There we go. Okay, so I do want to get through some of the bigger categories to sell. We're going to Maine on Friday. That's right. You have that place up in Maine. I forgot about that. Awesome. So yeah, what can you do? What chunk of the good categories that you're going to get to done, feel like you could get through and feel good about leaving for Maine on Friday? It is really a mind game, but I say this in the best of ways. I say this in the best of ways. You can decide, because that's a great thing about chunking down. You can decide, as soon as I'm done with this one little chunk, then I'm good. And then I'm going to stop. I'm going to feel good about stopping. And I'm going to shift gears into party mode. You know, you guys have seen me do that. Because there have been times when I've done a TikTok live on a day that we're flying somewhere. And I got myself ready and I had enough time and we weren't leaving. And I said, okay, I can do a TikTok live from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then I stop and then I shift gears. Learning how to shift gears. Get better at being a manual drive, instead of an automatic, use the manual gear shift. Okay? I use the car metaphor all the time because it's something we all relate to. So I say to you, it's okay to stop. It's okay to turn in a different direction. You can say, I've made it this far. I feel good about what I did today. Can all of us say that right now? I know the day is winding down, and for those of you in different time zones, it may be earlier. But can you say to yourself right now, take a moment, I'll shut up. And so funny, I just went to look for my phone. I'm talking into it. It's right here. Do you feel good about what you got done today? Do you feel good about some things you got done today? I do. But I ask you, what do you feel good that you got done today? And it doesn't have to be about decluttering, because life is not only decluttering. What do you feel good about getting done today? What do you feel good about what happened to you today? Even something you didn't really do. What happened today that made you feel good? Here's a funny one. Oh, just add this one. My husband and I, we are in Pennsylvania, and we're on the side of Pennsylvania where we are Team Wawa, not Team Sheets. So we were joking because we went to this after visiting a friend. I got a massage. He got a massage. That's how I do my recovery day. And one of our habits that we've had is by stopping at this particular Wawa. And we stopped there, and he said, oh, the last time I was here, I ran into Paul Murr, who's like a bass player we know. And as we're like, oh yeah, that'd be funny. Like, it would be funny if you met up with him again. I am not kidding you. Today, we walked to this random Wawa, is nowhere near where we live. And who's walking out? Not Paul Murr, but Michael, another musician we know. And he's like, what are you guys doing here? And we're like, what are you doing here? You live in New York State now. So that was a fun thing that happened today. I feel good about that. I feel good about running into people unexpectedly. So I say to you, save the good stuff. Not just in your clutter and your non-clutter, but the more you focus on the good stuff, the better you'll feel. And when you feel better, you do better. If you don't feel good about what you did today, you still have time to do something to feel good about. And it doesn't have to be anything big. It can be wicked small. You could do the dishes. You could do a dish, a fork. You could throw away one piece of random meat cake from the fridge. You could finally decide to put into the giveaway bag for the donation place that sweater that the color you don't like anymore. Oh, there we go. So I love it. Kara is bringing up vintage jewelry to sort, prep, and research to Maine. Great, especially if it rains, and it's been raining. Yep, also bringing albums to play. Yes, that's a really good one. People, when you decide to save stuff, please, as I used to tell my dad all the time, play with your toys. Yes, Kara says, I walked by stuff I donated at Savers and didn't feel bad. I just smiled. Here's a really funny thing. I've gone to the vintage clothing store in our town, and I see something. I'm like, ooh, I like those colors. And then I'm like, yeah, that's something I donated, So have fun. Have fun. Smile. decluttering is not always torturous pain and drama. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it doesn't feel so great when you're reminded of somebody who's not with you and their stuff is there and you don't want it because you never wanted it to begin with because they wanted it. It was their stuff, but you feel kind of bad because it reminds you that they're no longer there. Yeah, Kara says exactly, ooh, look at that face. Oh yeah, that was mine. I love that we're not the only people who do that. Isn't that fun? So, yes, and Coffee and Chaos, you're right. Sentimental clutter is the hardest to let go of. It is, but a couple of things. It's not impossible to let go of. Nobody says you have to get rid of it. And there are other layers of clutter that you can practice getting good at decluttering on. And that's so when you go to look at your sentimental clutter, you have a stronger muscle. Okay? You do. Jelly jars, canning jars that you think you're going to can things and then they're all over the place. And then you're like, that was a good idea, but now I'm not doing it. That's why we always start in the shallow end of the pool or in the ocean because it's summer and I like the ocean. We go in the shallow end, okay? And that's the surface clutter. Then there's the next layer down, okay? Yeah. Next layer down, which is stored clutter. The things you think you're going to use. We all do it, but then are you actually using it? Are you wearing it? Are you eating it? Are you crafting with it? Are you using it? Are you using it for what you want to? Are you using it with the frequency you thought you were going to? Oh, I'm going to do this all the time. I'm going to can these things. I'm going to do this and whatever, you know? And you can get good at this if you want to, but don't let the fact that sentimental can sometimes be causing you some discomfort. It can sometimes cause you some temporary discomfort. Don't let the fear of temporary discomfort stop you from at least practicing with this stuff. You can go through all of your sentimental things and you can decide to keep every single one of them, but you have then hung out with them in the energy and you're not afraid of opening that box. Wow, M&M and 10101, I can't pronounce whatever. Today, we threw away a garbage bag of old sentimental cards, papers, and mementos. Yeah. You know what? That's a big thing. But you know what? Things will feel easier when you feel ready, but you will never feel ready unless you practice with the more simple stuff. Or maybe you have organically practiced all along and now you're just ready and it feels right. There's no real wrong way or right way about this. But what I say is notice where you stop. Even if your brain has ADHD and you say, well, I can't because, and then you have the reason/excuse of this is, I forget things, out of sight, out of mind. I'm blaming the dog. I'm blaming my children. I don't say this to be mean. I just say catch what you use as your roadblocks. And if you're saying it's a roadblock, you can also probably together, that's why I do coaching, find a way to help you remove that roadblock. Now, once we do that, you have to participate in the process. It's funny, a number of minutes ago, somebody talked about getting a professional organizer in. A professional organizer can sit there and show you the item, but you're the one who makes the decision about do you keep it and where does it go? So they are there to help you with that, and they could give you ideas about it, but ultimately it's you deciding how much you want a decluttered home and how much you want to hang out with the stuff you've been hanging out with. And the fear of feeling feelings can be a big reason why people don't go any deeper into their clutter than they're comfortable with. The fear of walking into the ocean, the fear of not being able to swim, the fear of drowning, the fear of pain stops us from doing a lot of things. So I say, learn how to do things in the shallow end. You know what? Let's switch back. Instead of the ocean, let's switch back to the swimming pool. You learn to swim with your feet on the ground and maybe just your face and you do the bubbles, right? And then you acclimate and you get used to it, but you still can touch ground. But as you get more comfortable with that, sometimes you know there's a whole rest of the pool out there. If you want to get in deeper, it's about listening to the stories that your stuff tells you. Crying maybe when you see something. but letting the tears fall, because if the tears want to fall, let them. They want to get out. That's helping your body release something that's been held in. I was crying. I cried like a sieve. I don't know if that's right. I cry. I can tear up at a moment's notice, and I don't mind that. And I let the tears fall. I'll wipe them away, but I won't try to hide it, because I know that that's my body expressing on a number of levels, expressing something. So do not be afraid of feeling feelings when you are decluttering. The other thing too is, seriously, you guys, we always think of feelings as something bad. Feeling of feelings can be something delightful and release and relief and lightness. Oh my God, I'm so freaking glad I finally got rid of that whatever. Oh, that's been hanging around here for forever. Now I feel so much better that it's not here. So just because you're afraid of feeling feelings, all the feelings aren't going to be bad. There are some feelings that are going to be good. I don't know why I was speaking in a voice like that, but it was cracking me up. Okay? Feeling feelings means you're human. If you're not, are you AI generated? Are you a robot? Are you a fox or a hedgehog? Are you a zombie? Okay? So I just offer to you these words. I offer to you what's worked for me and worked with my clients. And my clients use these words up to the point where they are comfortable using them, and they stop where it feels safe for them to stop. It can feel scary to do things you ain't never done before. It can be scary to feel a feeling if you've tamped it down for a long time. That's why I often say too, please get help with things that you are struggling with. Grief, alcoholism, eating disorders, hoarding, abusive relationships. There's a list. Get some help. If what you're doing alone isn't working, it means you need help, because you're doing all that you know how to do, and not just know how to do. There's a difference between knowing stuff and doing stuff, and the thing that's in between the knower and the doer is your heart, is the feeler. There's the knower and the feeler, and then the doer. I know I should get up early. I don't feel like it, so you stay in bed. I know I should get up early because we're going to Brimfield. Next thing you know, you're out of bed and you're heading onto Route 20 and you're going to go look at old stuff. Notice the difference. Notice the difference of the words you use in your head, how they make you feel in your heart, and then what you do with your hands. It can be that simple. Are your thoughts coming from fear? They're probably making you feel stuck. Are you telling yourself crappy stories? Are you beating yourself up? Are you yelling at yourself in your own head? I used to do that all the time. I still do it. Don't worry, it's not perfect. That voice will never go away. But as we use the word down, and I'm going to use some water. Down is my secret word of the day, like Pee Wee Herman. Scream real loud. Actually, it's funny. What's cool is my sister is probably at Logan Airport getting on a plane to go to Ireland with her family. We were cracking up about the secret word of the day this weekend being garlic press. That's 2 words, but it was, Where was I? I was in Pee Wee's Playhouse. I was singing in my Mr. Microphone, but I was also talking about beating yourself up in your head. You're too old. You look at those wrinkles. You've never been decluttered before. You did this before and it didn't last. Like, who's the jerk in your head? Sadly, it's your voice, probably, because it's in your head, but it's probably the voice of some jerk that you knew at some point in your life. And that could be a parent. It could be a friend or an ex or a non-ex. Who's the jerky? What I like to call your backseat driver. See, this is what I help. I could get all mean at my backseat driver, but I say, mine is, so I offer this to you. I'm the driver. I've got 2 passengers in my car. I've got fear, which is the backseat driver. But the backseat driver fear, when you finally go and look at it, it's not a big scary thing. All you're looking at is the shadow. You look back there, it's a scared little kid in a car seat. You look in the passenger seat right next to you when you're the driver. You know who that is? That's your BFF. That's God, that's love, that's Allah, that's Vishnu, that's Sancho Panza. It's the best version of yourself who's saying, let's go take a road trip. Where do you want to go? As long as you tell me where you want to go, I can help you get there. Okay? Connect the dots. La, 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 la. There you go. It's a penny cartoon. That little balloon thing. Yes, Christine, it's a love language, isn't it? Pee Wee Hermanese. So notice the voices in your head. Even today, we've got 10 minutes on this TikTok Live. Now, this is what I do pretty much almost every day that I do a TikTok Live. I wait for your comments and what you're helping with, and I endeavor to help you. I do this on a one-on-one basis with one-on-one clients as well. And in about 10 minutes, I'm going to do the exact same thing on YouTube. You don't have to be like any kind of member or anything. They're live there too, and they're open and public and free. But if you want to know when I do these, so because you want to tune into that channel, this is why I call it the TV guide on my secret page, because I have a secret page. It's the secret page. That's also a Pee Wee Hermanism. Your secret name is Opal O. That's where that came from. So the secret page is a page on the internet that only the people who say, yes, I'm interested in more, and I'm going to sign up for your mailing list, they're the only people who can get part of it, get access to it. Because I am totally trying to keep out trolls and haters. Okay? So I say to you, if you want to know, like tomorrow, for example, which is, I'm looking at my own schedule now because I'm just getting back in the swing of things, and I have a calendar up here, but I always cross-reference it with my other ones. I have a TikTok Live and a YouTube Live scheduled for tomorrow. I know what time they are, and I'm being a little snarkerson, because I'm looking at it right now. You could easily find out the times of tomorrow's, Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, all that, the TikTok Lives and the declutter parties. We have a declutter party on Thursday, people. All that information is on the hidden page of my website that you get access to simply by signing up for the mailing list at destinationdeclutter.com. Okay? So I gatekeep just because I only want to share the good stuff with the good people. Okay? So, we got 8 minutes. Yeah, I know when they are too, says Judy. So yeah, because you have access to the secret page. Now the funny thing is I'm going to actually look at that page right now. So I only have it. So this is when last time I updated it was last week. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I have it public here. I will be updating that in the next few days to let you know when I'm going to be there for next week and the week after. Okay? So even though you see it and it only goes till Saturday, June 21st, there is an 8 a.m. TikTok declutter party then. I always am updating that. That is so I don't have to ping you with 1 trillion emails and you get aggravated and then you say, this woman is spamming me. No. I tell you where to go to find out the information, and I will occasionally send out an email to remind you to look at that page. I'm always just directing you to that page. So bookmark it. Somebody said they created a widget on their phone. Other people have printed it out, but I don't like the printing out because on occasion, very rare but human, it has happened that I've needed to change something. Okay? So I just offer to you, if you like what you're hearing, if you find this entertaining, cool. If you find it helpful and entertaining, oh, even better. But I'm here to help you with your clutter, to remind you you're not alone in that. I am a decluttering life coach. I am a certified life coach, but I am also not a licensed mental health professional. And I say that as a good thing because I want to encourage you that if you feel like you need more help than what I can give, cool. I'm glad that hearing me might have made you realize that. And yes, get the help. Okay? Always helpful and always entertaining, Judy. I love that. I love that. The best thing for me to know is that you're taking what I say, you're making it your own, and you're playing with your toys. You're using these concepts. You're playing with these ideas. You're testing out to see what I'm saying to do, and you're seeing if it works or not. Because I don't want to be giving false information. If I'm telling you something that I believe works and you tell me it doesn't, I want to know why. I want to get more specific. And if it doesn't work, my God, would I change everything I talked about. But I've been doing this for years now, and I love the fact that the more I reach people, it really comes back to some of the really simple stuff. Hey, Anne, nice to see you. And just as a heads up, it's 7:55 Eastern where I am. We'll be doing a YouTube live at 8 p.m., so in about 5 minutes. And right now, I am going to get that started up because this is one of those times where I did have to once go back to the secret page and be like, YouTube is down, so I'm going to go back onto Facebook, right? So what day is today? 6/17/2025, 8 p.m., YouTube live, exclamation point. All right, we're going to scroll down. We're going to add it to the June playlist. We are going to say it's not made for kids. However, kids should learn how to declutter. And we can help them with that too. Okay, we're going to start at 8 p.m. I'm going to do this. I'm going to cross my fingers that it's going to work. Okay, it looks like it's going to be good. Okay. Dinner finished and kitchen cleaned up, says Therapy Gal Sue. Okay, yes, this was incidental, but I'll try to jump in with the end of the hour. Here's a great thing too. Please, you guys. The only person who ever needs to be here for the entirety of this or at all is me. I am here for you when you need me, if it works with your schedule. Okay? So I just offer that to you as a person who knows people's got a lot of stuff going on. So I tell you when I'm going to be there, and then boy howdy, Cream Magazine, I am there. Unless, again, human things happen, but it's very rare. So I love hanging out with y'all. I do. You can tell I've been hanging around with Carla because I'm saying y'all, and I'm from freaking Massachusetts, okay? I love it. Just deleted the 4X that will be going into the Savers box. I love it. Yay, good stuff. Good stuff. Every little bit helps. Even today, I will offer to you, you can do stuff. Christine says, we love hanging with you. Well, thank you. You can still do stuff tonight, and it doesn't have to be much. It could be 10 minutes, but you could do something that you decide you're going to feel good about when you go to bed. When you sit in there and you're counting your blessings. Who's that? The lady, Rosemary Clooney, maybe, did a Counting Your Blessings. I count instead of sheep. That one? Yeah. Counting your blessings. Counting the things to be gratitudinal for. Feeling good. Yes, Clooney. Thank you, Coffee and Chaos. Yes. Yes, I was thinking, it's awful. I thought of her. She was in the movie, but then when around our age, we're like, who's this lady who's trying to sell us toilet paper or paper towels? And then we find out she's George Clooney's aunt. Oh, here's a crazy thing. I have to share this with you because I found this out yesterday. You guys, did you know that, Haley Mills? Let's get together. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll have a real good time. Parent Trap and all that. Haley Mills, her sister is that other Mills woman who was on like Nanny and the Professor. I had no idea. These are the things you learn when you scroll on TikTok. I will. So from me to you, from you to me, Pinky Lee. I just thought that was wicked interesting. I had no idea. But anyhow, I've digressed, and I'm pretty much in the shallow end of the pool at the moment. But what I want to remind you, if I could give you a quick kind of TLDR of what to do when you're decluttering, okay? It's this simple. Start with your body. If you're not feeling good, chunk it down. If you're not feeling good, do something so your body's feeling better. Take off your bra, put on your pajamas, get some sleep, drink some water. Wicked simple things. There we go. Family Affair. Yes, Mrs. Beasley. But luckily, I think of the song. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. There was a whole run of widower. Remember that? Like all the widower shows there. It was like, Nanny and the Professor and what was it? My Three Sons, I think, was widows. Wicked lot of widows. I love it. Somebody who had a pug named Mr. French. That's awesome. But yeah, you can be silly, but you can get stuff done. Sometimes being silly helps you get stuff done. People, let me tell you about my best friend. Goes to Mrs. Muir. Yep, all that. Yeah, really interesting. I think that was the way of showing people with non-traditional parental roles, but they didn't want to have people to be divorced. It was always like, oh, they tried. Courtship, total courtship. Yes. Yes, and did you know that that song was written by Harry Nilsson? Nilsson Schmilson? Yeah. He's a one-boy cuddly toy, my up, my down, my pride and joy. Right? And was that Bill Bixby? But I digress. All right? You guys, I'm glad to be back. Always fun to hang out with you. If you want to continue hanging out, we talk about the same stuff, different channel on Destination Decluttered on YouTube. But in the meantime, yeah, okay, Bill Bixby, right. We were talking about him the other day too. I'm going to sign off TikTok now. I'm going to go over to YouTube. Perhaps I'll see you there. If not, I'm on TikTok a wicked lot this week. If you want to know when, destinationdecluttered.com. And always a pleasure. Bye.